framed glasses, bear the book with a mind like molasses. Giants and goblins from his fingertips spurts, trekking through stars with an old geek spurt. Up in the attic by the glowing screen, cultures clash like you've never seen. Post-apocalyptic visions clash, tales of terror in a lightning flash. Up in the attic by the glowing screen, cultures clash like you've never seen. Post-apocalyptic visions clash, tales of terror in a lightning flash. That old Yorkshire geek with stories to unfold. Keep your eyes wide open and your soul won't grow cold. In the realm of the strange and the fantastical, lost in the dark but it's a light so magical. Whispers of Lovecraft in the dead of night, spaceships, sorcery, shadow fight, dungeons deep and castles grand, tales of might from this England land. That old Yorkshire geek with stories to unfold. Keep your eyes wide open and your soul won't grow cold. In the realm of the strange and the fantastical, lost in the dark but it's a light so magical. Magical. Cthulhu breathes while dragons flame, hearts of heroes in the Hall of Fame. Flee or fight the monsters we dread, but the winds of wonder in his stories are spread.
I haven't listened to that for ages. I love that song. It's really, really good. Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek, and welcome to kind of an impromptu news stream, live news stream. I found some news items that I thought were interesting, so I thought we'd do that on a Sunday for a change. And Windgrace is in saying, rock on, yeah! And Justin saying, hello everyone, and he loves that song. It is a good one, I must admit. AI, what AI should be used for? Nothing else. Anywho, before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. I'll just make sure we're live on YouTube, we're live on Rumble, and we're live on Twitch. Don't know why I keep doing Twitch. Why is Twitch still going? I have no idea, but as long as the option's there, I'll keep clicking on it on StreamYard. But I don't do stuff like Kick or Locals or any of the others. What others is the Odyssey? I have tried them. Didn't work out for me. Anywho, so we're going to do some news items. Hang on, I haven't finished my blurb, have I? Explore the description for links for stuff like merch and my books. Hang on, I'll dig them out. Where are they? Here they are. My books. Silent Predator, short horror novella about genetically engineered big cats eating people in the North Yorkshire village. I can't remember why they were genetically engineered. I'm sure it's in there somewhere. I did write it a long time ago. And Mercury Rapids, a light-hearted sci-fi action-adventure about UFOs and stuff like that. On Amazon Kindle and paperback, give them a whirl. What else? In the description. Links for me other websites and the other channels and all that stuff. Become a member, and then you get early access videos and exclusive videos and exclusive live streams on occasion and stuff like that. Emojis, blah, blah, blah. Right, so anyway, I've got my poppy on because it's Remembrance Sunday today. So I will keep this on until after the 11th because it's So what day is it? What day is it today? It's the 9th. So I'll keep it on till Tuesday for Remembrance period. Right, so let's have a look at these news items, shall we? I'm sure I forgot something else. I'm sure I've forgotten something. Can't remember. But right. Right, so we'll get on with this new stuff. Right, so we'll just get on with it, shall we? I shall add it to the stage. How shall I do it? How shall I add it? We'll see what happens. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Right, so first up from Deadline, who's reporting here? Anthony D'Alessandro. For some reason, I think that's a cool sounding name. D'Alessandro. Predator Badlands opening to franchise record with $39 million plus. A- cinema score is best ever for the series. Saturday PM box office update. I saw it today, Predator Badlands. Completely legally, of course. I went to the cinema to watch it and all that stuff. I really, really did. Honest. You know what? And it's fine. It's an okay film. I'll do a review of it, maybe. Probably not tomorrow, because that much on tomorrow. But whenever, during the week. I'll do a review of it during the week. I'll watch it again. I'll go to the cinema again, and watch it. But it's okay. It's an okay film. It didn't have to be a Predator film, though. It could have just been a generic sci-fi film. But I suppose they have to... I don't know. It depends how you look at it, I suppose. It either usurps the Predator name for its own box office, so to speak, or you could say it expands the Predator lore. I'll not spoil it, but it is a fun film. I did enjoy it. I've got to admit, I did enjoy it. And is it a Predator film? I suppose so. But I wouldn't say the best ever score. But it's okay. To be honest, it'll be up there in my top films of 2025 because 2025 hasn't been a stellar year for films, has it? So it'll be up there. Maybe top 5, maybe. We'll see when I do my list. Anyway, let's read this article. And there's I can't remember the name. Tess, is it Tess or Thea? I can't remember which is which. There's Tess and Thea, played by Elle Fanning. I can't remember which is which. It made that much of an impression on me. But I do remember Deck. Deck the Predator. Anyway, Saturday PM update. Dan Trachtenberg's Predator Badlands is now opening to $39 million plus. A record domestic debut for the 20th Century Studios. I still think they should... Disney, just buy the name Fox. Just get it back to 20th Century Fox. Anyway, 38-year-old Predator franchise. Justin says, I think it expanded it some, but I don't need my Predators being super emotional. I think it was more angry than anything. I didn't get like emotion and stuff from it. I just felt it was cross all the way through the film. For good reasons, in my opinion. I didn't mind. I expected to hate it, to be honest. So maybe that's because I went in with such low expectations. I kind of enjoyed it. But anyway, where were we? This comes after a great hold on Saturday of $14 million, a mere minus 10% dip. So is that a plus 10% increase? It's a double negative there, isn't it? Minus 10% dip, whatever. From Friday previews of 15.6 million. Starbacks. Predator Badlands outstrips the previous series record held by Alien vs Predator, 38.2 million. Another one which, again, wasn't a great film, but I do enjoy it. Which was a mid-August 2004 theatrical release. Here's something we haven't seen in a while at the box office. Arguably, I can't speak. Arguably, going back to Conjuring Last Rites and Demon Slayer Infinity Castle in September, a tent pole with an opening. Why do they call them that? I know a tent pole holds up the tent. Is that why they call it that? Because it's holding up the box office. Is that what they call it, a tent pole? I don't know. A tent pole with an opening that grows throughout the weekend while besting. At least they didn't say whilst. But whilst besting its tracking forecast. I hate that word, whilst. But I did use a word recently that ended in st, and I don't usually like them. And I can't remember what word it was. Might be in amongst. I don't know, anyway. After a torturous October, finally some optimism at the box office. Justin says, it was good. I'm just pointing out where it could be headed. There was more emotions than I expected. I suppose. It was not, Deck isn't, I expected it going a different way, to be honest. I was expecting Deck, I don't want to spoil it, turning out to be more different than we thought. But it turned out he was just kind of I wouldn't call him a good guy or a nice guy. Yeah, he was an honourable guy. I was watching it, I was thinking he could replace these Predators in this film with Klingons, Jem'Hadar, I'm going all the Star Trek things, Herodian. It could have been any of them. But anyway. How much has it gotten whilst being in this position? Getting to me is Win Grace. Look, gotten. Alec Guinness's favourite word, gotten. And not gotten involved. George, do I have to say it like that? Yes, you do. Alex, say it. Alex. It's Alec, for God's sake. Anyway, in addition, the Trachtenberg Ben Rosenblatt and John Davis production ranks as the second best domestic opening ever for actress Elle Fanning. I didn't mind this. I'd read reviews where they said she was unbearable in it. And I didn't mind. I thought she was quite good in it. She played two parts in it, and basically a goodie and a baddie. It's not really a spoiler, is it? I've seen the trailers and stuff. And I thought she did okay. You could tell the one that were, the Elle Fanning that were a goodie because she had eyebrows and wide eyes, and the baddie Elle Fanning had no eyebrows and, had like half closed eyes to make her look bad. Anyway, I should save all this for my review, shouldn't I? I'll probably forget by then. Where was it? Elle Fanning. After 2014's Maleficent, $69.4 million, and ahead of 2019's Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, $36.9 million. We'll have more updates in the morning. So is this the update that they've said? Saturday AM update. 20th Century Studios' Predator Badlands is looking good, knock on wood, coursing to a near record opening for the franchise, around $37 million after a $15.6 million Friday previews. It also has the best cinema score a Predator movie has ever seen, with A-. As we told you, the previous highs for a Predator movie were the original 1987 instalment and 1990 sequel, both of which earned a B+. That audience score is further boosted by the Screen Engine /ComScore post-track definite recommend, I have no idea what that is, of 78% and 5 stars, which is platinum for any movie. Oh, we hadn't done, I thought we'd done then. It's clear that audiences are enjoying this version of Predator from director, producer, writer Dan Trachtenberg. Too many irons in the fire there. He'll burn himself out. And producers Ben Rosenblatt and John Davis, hence the higher than expected ticket sales, which were expected to be around the $25 million range. I don't know what budget was for this. What was the budget for this? I bet it wasn't massive. Predator. Can't even spell. Predatoire. Badlands. I bet I spelled that wrong. No, I haven't. Badlands. Budget. Right, 105 million. That's more than I thought it'd be, to be honest. It's also the most expensive Predator film. 105 million, which isn't a huge amount these days, to be honest, is it? But for a big special effects film, because there are a lot of special effects in this. And I don't know how much of it are actually filmed on location, or were it all like just filmed in a studio green screen, like Avatar or whatever, and all the locations were digitally added. I don't know. I think that might be the case. But 105 million, so I think it'll make its money back, to be honest. Where were we? The movie's momentum is in a better position than Disney's early October attempted tentpole, that word again, Tron Ares, thanks to word of mouth. At the end of the day, no matter how much stunting a studio does in a highly competitive social media streaming landscape, the movie ultimately sells itself, meaning audiences discover it upon viewing and spread the gospel from there. I think it'll do well, because I kind of enjoyed it. Although I've people that I kind of follow on YouTube and stuff are all saying it's rubbish, most of them. But some of them, are enjoying it. And I thought it were okay. Not amazing, but okay. Both Tron Ares and Predator Badlands dazzled Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con with equally memorable stunts. I can't speak today. The lead character of the latter, Deck, stepped on stage to scan the audience with his eye vision. Don't we all have eye vision? Unless we're blind, of course. What's that supposed to mean with his eye vision? I didn't see it, he says. I don't know what it means. With his eye vision. Switching ratings, i.e. from R to PG, hasn't dented the appeal for the Alien Killer movie, because it is kind of violent though. But with it being like, it's on an alien world, and there's no humans in it. Although there are humanoids in it, but there's no actual humans in it, so you're not seeing any, blood spraying about. Not red blood anyway. So I suppose that's why it got a PG. Just says, I thought they should just kept the title Badlands, kind of like Prey. Maybe. But then that might have got that mixed up with the old film from the 70s with, we're in it now, were it Martin Sheen and Sissy Spacek? That was called Badland, wasn't it? I know I'm going back. 1973, Badlands, 1973 film. Am I right? Who's in it? Yes, Martin Sheen and Sissy Spacek and Warren Oates. Bloody hell, how did I remember that one from 1973? Crikey. Anyway, I forgot where I was now. Oh, right, switching ratings, i.e. But yeah, well, I think because they want it to, because it's a cinematic release. I suppose they wanted to connect the Predator name definitively to the film. Whereas Prey was just a Hulu release, wasn't it? So it didn't really matter if people were going to watch it or not watch it. But anyway, switching ratings, i.e. from R to PG, hasn't dented the appeal for the Alien Killer movie. This particular instalment casting the series villain as the protag. It's not Twitter. You could put protagonist. That's the hook as far as distinguishing itself from previous Predator movies. Right, but there are, spoilers. There is a baddie Predator in it. Rather than just a one sheet with the fleshy, toothy-faced guy in a profile shot, Badlands one sheets went hardcore sci-fi with epic shots of him battling creatures, etc. And he's jolly good at it. The problem with the static opening between 2018's The Predator and 2010's Predators opening to around the same number of 25 million stemmed from the campaigns being quite similar and not selling anything fresh. There was no one-up, whatever that means. What's interesting though is that going to PG-13 might not necessarily have brought in a younger audience. Badlands only pulled in 5% for the 13 to 17 demographic. Excuse me. Compared to 2018's The Predator, it shows that older males still come out for the IP, 57 to 45%. But that could change, couldn't it? If they keep it in cinemas a reasonable length of time, I said word of mouth may, spread, and parents might be thinking, actually, that have seen it might think, actually, my kids can watch this, it's not that bad. Although it is kind of violent, but it's not red blood violent, it's alien blood violent. I don't know. Anyway, as well as older females, about the same between both instalments at 22%. However, men under 25 shrunk between The Predator and Badlands from 20... Blah, 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 blah. People going to watch it. Numbers, we don't care, do we? Predator Badlands has nearly all the IMAX and premium large format screens, which are driving 53% of the weekend. The pick is playing best in the South, Central and West regions, with the latter seeing 43% of the gross income. More numbers, blah, blah, blah. With a social media universe of 244 million across TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram and X, Badlands is reaching very similar to the reach of last year's Alien Romulus before opening, that being 246 million. Elle Fanning is promoting to her 6.7 million fans. It's all numbers, isn't it, this? Come on, what they're saying. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, we'll read this bit. The young crowd isn't big into going to the theatre unless it's Taylor Swift. It looks that way, doesn't it? It looks that way. They've got used to not going, haven't they, with COVID and all that. But they know that this is going to pop up on Disney Plus. I don't know if Hulu will be around then, because Disney Plus is supposed to be absorbing Hulu at some point soon. Anyway, it'll be popping up on streaming, won't it? In a month or so, won't it? So people will just wait, won't they? The cinema, it's not the same now, is it? Going to see a film on a big screen, the big cinema screen now, because the image you see on the big screen is often not as good or just the same as what you'd see on your telly. The only thing about going to the cinema now is the sound. You get better sound. You're not worrying about bothering the neighbours or whatever. If you're watching a film with lots of noise and explosions, I'm always worried the neighbours are going to start banging that wall. Anyway, I will always be going to the theatre. Love the experience. Yeah, let's say I like for the sound and stuff, but I think the images, because they're all digital screenings now, so basically you're just watching it on a huge TV, aren't you? It's not the same as when in the old days when it was an actual projector and you could see the light beams in the smoke, everybody smoking. But I'm old. But anyway, plus I don't get to go to the cinema very often, apart from today, of course, when I saw Predator Badlands in the cinema. Where were we? Social media data core relish mixed remarks. Convo runs positive. It's deadline. They like shortening words down, don't they? Because I think, is it run by kids or something? I don't know. Convo runs positive for Predator Badlands as fans are lit up at the idea of expanding the Yorkshire universe beyond Earth, praising its young blood narrative. By the way, is this the first time they've been called that on screen? Or did they call them that in... I forgot that cartoon one that were on... I forgot what they call that now. Predator something or other. Did they call them Yorkshire in that? Don't know. Anyway. The telly is terrible because how it moves, it looks terrible. You can change the frame speed to make it work, but it is a pain. Maybe you need a new telly, Justin. It looks fine on my telly. Anyway, I forgot where I was now. Yorkshire Universe Beyond Earth, praising its young blood narrative and connections to Prey and Predators 2010. Does it have connections to Prey and Predators 2010? I missed that. Enthusiasts love the lore, depth and proving hunt concept, calling it refreshing and badass. Comments like, looks fantastic, it does. Reminds me when people clowned on Prey and it was awesome. And teenage Yorkshire with something to prove, sign me up. Highlight genuine anticipation. Others noted the Monsterverse style shift towards creature-led storytelling, celebrating it as finally giving us the Predator story we've been waiting for. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. Yes, but did you use your eye vision to watch it? Yes, I used my eye vision. Because I gather information about my surroundings by using my eyes. That's a comedy thing that I saw on TV once. That's fine. For me, I can see the difference. Okie doke. Maybe your local cinema's just really, really good, but mine isn't. As far as the new upscale adult films, oi, what they're talking about? Nothing is Nothing is mind-blowing gross-wise. See below. Anyway, more numbers, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah. What's that Begonia film? I keep hearing mentions of it and I still don't know what it is. This is going on, this article, isn't it? It's just numbers in it about things, right? Oh, that's a Friday afternoon update. Oh, that's we're back in time. Right, anyway, for whatever. So it's doing well at the box office, it seems. I want to see it. Looks cool, says we. It is good. It is good, I must admit. I did enjoy it. At the cinema. But yes, so there we go. So Predator Badlands, it seems, is doing well. A best ever for the franchise so far. And I think word of mouth will spread, and I think more people will go and see it. And don't listen to the naysayers. Although it kind of is. People have said it's Disneyfied the Predators. And you could argue that. But, you know, you could also say it expands the lore. There's some parts of it that I think... And I did get the twist quite early on. Because I was thinking, I know what's going to happen with that. But and it did. But anyway... But there we go. So there we go. Predator Balance doing well, and deservedly so, in my opinion, because it is quite good. I must admit. I'll do a review of it and give it a score sometime in the week. Right. So we'll move on. I'll just remove that. Justice says it was good, but not as good as the original or Prey. I agree. I like Predator. Classic film, one of the best ever, and Predator 2 is not far behind for me. I love Predator 2. I think Predator 2 is amazing. And Prey were good. I enjoyed that. I watched it recently, and I thought, it still holds up. It's still pretty good to enjoy it. Predators were okay. Can't say I loved it. The Predator, terrible. A disaster of a film. What else? The Alien vs Predator films, I don't mind them. Even Requiem, I don't mind it. Just as I would say, it was top four of the Predator films, or top 4 film of the year. Love Predator 2. Yeah, I love Predator 2 as well. Shit happens. Anyway, right. So we'll move on to the next. News story that caught my eye. Right, hopefully I've done that right. Let's see what happens. Add to stage, here we are from Variety, Rebecca Rubin telling us Gremlins 3 movie sets November 2027 release date, so 2 years away, and there's Gizmo. Right, Warner Brothers is officially, just it says top 4, where are we? Top 4 Predator films. Alright, fair enough. So what's your number 3? Predators, I bet it is, in it. Finally watched Fantastic Four last night. Definitely better than Superman, but still okay. Yeah, I didn't mind it. I thought it were okay. That'll be in my list, my year's list. It were okay. It didn't blow me away, but it were okay. I was entertained for a couple of hours. I could argue the same about Superman as well. Anyway, I didn't hate either of them, but they didn't blow me away. Anyway, Warner Brothers is officially reviving the Gremlins franchise with a new instalment set to barrel into theatres in November. When's it going to barrel into theatres? In November 2027. The film has been added to the studio's release schedule for November 19th, 2027. David Zaslav, the CEO and president of Warner Brothers Discovery, revealed on Thursday's investor call. Steven Spielberg is returning to executive produce Gremlins 3, while Harry Potter filmmaker Chris Columbus is set to direct and produce. Remember, he directed the first one. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. What am I talking about? He wrote the first one, didn't he? He wrote the first one. Because it was obviously Joe Dante that directed the first one, wasn't it? But Chris Columbus wrote it, didn't he? He's set to direct and produce. Zaslav confirmed Zach Lipovsky and Adam Stein will co-write the screenplay. I'm trying to think now, which I've seen something. I'm probably thinking of a different film. Anyway, Christy McCosco Krieger and Holly Barrio are producing for Amblin Entertainment. Is Amblin still going? I didn't even know it was still going. Alongside 26th Street Pictures, Michael Barnathan and Mark Radcliffe. All of the details, including the plot description and anyone starring in the film, haven't been disclosed. Right, fair enough. Wingate says, officially reviving. They just made the show 2 years ago, but I bet nobody watched it. I know I didn't. An animated one, Legend of the Mogwai, whatever it was called. I didn't watch it. Justy says, Predator 2 is my 1 and OG is 2. Crikey. Shots fired by Justin. Praise 3. Alright, Praise 3 and Badlands 4. Fair enough. Fantastic Four is good. Love the retro look. Yeah, it were well done. It were well made. It was like the Fallout universe. Yeah, sort of. Yeah. That's coming soon, isn't it? Season 2 of the Fallout on Amazon. I quite enjoyed Season 1. I thought we were alright. Where were we? The original Gremlins, which famously led to the creation of the PG-13 rating, was released in 1984 and directed by Joe Dante. I thought it was Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom that created the PG-13. Obviously I'm wrong. It was released in 1984, or it might have been in the UK. It created the 12 certificate, maybe. I can't remember. Anyway. Directed by Joe Dante, yes, with Columbus writing the screenplay. The horror comedy follows a boy named Billy who receives a cute furry creature called a mogwai as a pet. Billy is warned to never expose the animal to bright light, especially sunlight. Water or to feed him after midnight. After those rules are broken, the gremlin spawns more of its kind and end up wreaking havoc. It says wrecking havoc on Billy's hometown of Kingston Falls, USA, during Christmas. Gremlins was a box office hit with a $212 million worldwide. The sequel, 1990's Gremlins 2: The New Batch, was less successful with $41 million, but became a cult classic. Few titles are as beloved and iconic as Gremlins, and we're beyond excited to bring it back for both lifelong fans and a whole new generation. Warner Brothers Pictures President of Development and Production Jesse Ehrman said in a statement, "It's a privilege to be working alongside Steven Spielberg, Chris Columbus and the entire creative team, and we look forward to audiences experiencing the next instalment of the magic, mayhem and heart Oxford comma there, of Gremlins on the big screen in 2027. Just says, I think it was Indiana. Also, there was a documentary on the box set about it. Oh, right, okay. Which box set? The Indiana Jones one or the Gremlins one? I've got the Indiana Jones one. I'll have to check. Anyway, Zaslav touted the Warner Brothers Motion Picture Group's epic theatrical streak in 2025, where 7 consecutive releases, including a Minecraft movie, Sinners, Weapons and The Conjuring Last Rites, opened above 40 million. Yeah, but I think a lot of them probably didn't get much higher than that, did they? I think only a Minecraft movie, what you could definitively call a smash hit. But the others, they did okay. Probably made the money back because they were essentially horror films, and horror films generally have low budgets, don't they? And anyway, the Indiana Jones one, fair enough. No other studio has ever achieved that level of consistency at the box office. The studio's slate of triumphs, and particularly this year, though. Well, in recent years, none of the studios have had what you could call smash hits, one after another, have they? They've had most studios have had like maybe one smash hit film of the year that's made like close to $1 billion or whatever. We've had Barbie and Oppenheimer, and I can't think of any others recently. But it's not been film after film after film like we had before the plague took over, when we were having all the Marvel films making $1 billion and the Star Wars films of varying quality. But anyway, the studio's slate of triumphs helps offset a financial miss like Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another, which is expected to be a major Oscar player but is tracking to lose $100 million in its theatrical run against its $130 million budget. We're leading the 2025 box office domestically, we're leading it internationally, and we're leading it globally. Right? Zaslav's, I'm just thinking, domestic and international is kind of globally, isn't it? Didn't need to add that afterwards. Zaslav said on the investor call, not only are we in first place, but we're the only film studio to have crossed $4 billion in 2025 box office revenue thus far. And we've done it with a significant amount of original stories that leadership was on full... Should there be a copy there? Should comma there? Or should that be another sentence? Whatever. That leadership was on full display in the third quarter. He attributed the box office wins to the wide range of offerings, including the kid-centric Minecraft and Superman, which still lost money, as well as the adult skewing, or maybe if it did make money, tiny amount, as well as the adult skewing Brad Pitt's F1 movie, which Warner Brothers distributed for Apple, which I've still not got around to watching that. And apparently it's really good. But I don't know. I can't imagine. I don't know. It's Brad Pitt, in it, playing like an aging racing F1 driver, which you don't really see these days. But anyway, and not so family friendly Sinners, Weapons, and The Conjuring. Not seen Sinners. I thought Weapons were overrated. It were okay. I didn't hate it, but I thought it were overrated because what's the word? It didn't live up to my expectations. What's the word? Whatever. Twisted my expectations. You know the word. It didn't do what I was hoping it would do. In Q3 alone, quarter 3 alone, not third qualifying, speaking of F1, in Q3 alone, we successfully launched a new era for the DC studios with Superman. We showed our... but as I said, it didn't do that well, did it? We showed our exceptional horror genre expertise yet again with Weapons and The Conjuring Last Rites, which have together grossed more than $750 million in ticket sales. And remember, the water cost a huge amount of money, will they? I think The Conjuring films usually around about the $40 million, $50 million budget. I don't know what Weapons was. Let's have a look. Weapons 2025 budget. 38 million. 38 million for Weapons, Conjuring, Last Rites. Budget 55 million. So there you go. So they didn't have huge budgets to begin with. So they're smash hits, aren't they? You know, because they're like raking in hundreds of millions of dollars off tens of millions of dollars budget. But the budget for Superman was some ridiculous amount, wasn't it? Hundreds of millions of dollars. Anyway, where were we? And we reinforced our commitment to producing great original works by great filmmakers with Paul Thomas Anderson's one battle after another. Oh, is that it? Right, fair enough. So, I forgot what we were talking about. Oh, right, about Gremlins 3, wasn't it? We were supposed to be talking about. Looking forward to this. I just hope they don't bugger it up. Bet they do. Now, but where will they go with the Mogwai and the Gremlins? Will there be puppets again? You know, practical like in the first two, or will they go CG? I bet they go CG. Well, they might have some puppets. Well, like if they're like interacting, maybe. But I bet it's mostly CG because we'll see them running about and all that stuff, won't we? Should just stick to practical and a bit of stop motion. That's what they should do. Keep it old school. But anyway, looking forward to that. Who are these? Zach Lipovsky and Adam Stein. Let's have a look. Who are they? What have they done? Is it who I'm thinking of? Probably not. Oh, right, yes. They wrote, they directed Final Destination Bloodlines, which is one of my films of 2025, because that were really, really good. Yeah, so there we go. That's I knew I'd heard of them from something. Final Destination Bloodlines. They directed that, and that is a good film. Justice says, needs the puppets. If it's most CG, I'm out. I bet it is mostly CG. Bet it is. Which will be poo. But I hope not. We'll see, won't we? We will see. Maybe Steven Spielberg will put his foot down. Why isn't Joe Dante involved? Get him in. Anyway, so there we go. So looking forward to Gremlins 3. 2 years to wait. I wonder who's going to be in it. I wonder who's going to bring back Zach Galligan and Phoebe Cates, and I think Dick Miller's passed away now, hasn't he? Don't know about his wife, or the woman that played his wife, I don't know. But I don't know. We'll see. I hope it's, is it going to be a sequel or a reboot? We don't know anything, do we? Is it saying? No, we don't know anything about it, do we? No plot description or anything. So we don't know if is it a sequel, reboot. Who knows? Who knows? We'll find out at some point in the next year or so, I imagine. Let's move on to the next article. Right, so here we go. This one's from Cinema Blend. Your browser, so a message just popped up on my StreamYard. Your browser has lost connection to your screen share audio. Try sharing your screen again. Restart your browser if this continues to be a problem. Okay, is that a problem? Can you hear me? Oh, you can. Anywho, not that I'm wanting any audio, but never mind. Right, from Cinema Blend, as I said, Ryan Labie. I bet he's used lots of buzzwords. Jurassic World Rebirth's sequel has reportedly taken a big step forward, says Ryan. Justin can hear me, thank goodness for that. Is Universal about to take another bite at the box office? Because I think Jurassic World Rebirth, is that the most successful film this year so far? I don't know. Let's see, 2025 most success. Can't spell. Oh, right. Well, what's the box office? 2025 world box office. Oh, no, it's that Chinese film, innit? That Neja 2. Pardon me. Which, I don't know, has that been released anywhere but China? But it's like pushing 2 billion. Lilo and Stitch movie. Then the Minecraft movie, which didn't break 1 billion, surprisingly. I thought it did. Jurassic World Rebirth is number 4 on the 2025 box office list, but I imagine it'll drop down because we've got Avatar, is it Ash and Fire or Fire and Ash, whatever, coming, haven't we? That'll knock everything down. Maybe. We'll see. But anywho, Justin says, we don't need more Jurassic movies. We do. You can't get enough dinosaurs on screen. I quite enjoyed Jurassic World Rebirth, to be completely honest. Even though it was stupid, I still kind of enjoyed it. Anywho, this was a particularly stupid scene, but I still enjoyed it. Even though we're going, oh, for God's sake, why ain't she dead? Anyway. Right. Like most people, I believe, says Ryan, I believe there's only one truly great Jurassic Park movie. I agree. And that's the original based on the Michael Crichton novel of the same name. Yes, I agree. Justin's not an Avatar fan either. I started watching Avatar the other night, actually. I finally got my 3D telly back off my son. It's now in my bedroom. And so I put my Avatar, my 3D Avatar, and got my glasses out, and all like, wow! And then I thought, I can't be bothered. And watch something else instead. Where were we? I've enjoyed some of the sequels, but the Jurassic World films haven't really delivered for me. That said, I genuinely like Jurassic World Rebirth. Fortunately, it looks like the dinosaurs aren't going extinct anytime soon. That assertion is based on a new update regarding Universal Pictures' dino-centric franchise. Universal is reportedly looking to reassemble the core creative team behind Rebirth for a follow-up film. According to a report from industry insider Jeff Snyder's newsletter via comicbook.com, director Gareth Edwards is said to be in final negotiations to return. Just says it looks cool, but the second film was the same as one. In what, the Lost World Jurassic Park? Well, no, because they got a T-Rex going through San Diego, didn't they? Didn't get that in the first one. I forgot where I was now. Final negotiations to return. Also, lead stars Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, and Jonathan Bailey are all expected to reprise their roles with reprise. I heard Ian McKellen pronounce it as reprise. I've always said reprise, but anyway. Oh, Avatar. I'm still on about Avatar. Sorry. Yeah. Avatar 2 were essentially the same as the first one. I still enjoyed it though. But I must admit, I've only watched the second one once. But I still kind of liked it. But I watched it and I still bought the bugger. I've got it on 4K. which I've not got round to watching yet. Anyway, the new Avatar could be good if the story is different. It sounds like it's going to be a little bit different, doesn't it? With that baddie Navi, isn't there? The fire Navi or whatever. But it'll be more of the same-ish, won't it? Is what's his face back in it? I can't remember if he died in the last one. Quaritch. The first one, he died, didn't he? Got run through, and then the second one, spoilers, they stuck his mind in a avatar, in a Navi avatar thing. I can't remember if he died in the second one. Anyway, we'll see, won't we? But I imagine it'll be, more of a sameness, I imagine. And it'll look nice. And it'll make loads of money. But I don't think it'll do as well as the others, in my opinion. With no official release date locked in, the project is still in early stages, but the studio's confidence in the IP and Edwards' vision seems clear. The financial success of Rebirth is reportedly a driving factor in bringing the team back together. Yes, like I said, it made, $868 million off a $100 and something million budget. I think $160 million budget or something. More shots. Love the original Jurassic Park, but Lost World was better. Tell you, he's got these hot takes tonight, as Justin. He's got these hot takes tonight. I disagree, although I like all the Jurassic Park / World films, but I can't say that I like any of them better than the first one. The first one's a classic, but I do like the Lost World. And there's Scarlett Johansson, who, she's all glamour and stuff, but she wasn't in Jurassic World Rebirth, unfortunately, but never mind. There's little doubt this franchise remains a box office juggernaut. Jurassic World Rebirth currently ranks, they should have said behemoth, shouldn't they, really? Go in keeping with the monster motif. But anyway, Jurassic World Rebirth currently ranks as the 4th highest grossing film of 2025. Yes, I know I've said all this. Given the shrinking window of major studio tentpoles, I like that word, don't they? Left on the 2025 movie schedule, Rebirth is almost guaranteed to finish the year in the global top 10. That's an enviable spot, especially as other blockbuster genres, particularly new superhero films, have seen sharp declines in theatrical interest. Dinosaurs, it seems, still have their pull. Dinosaurs. I stand by my takes, says Justin. I bet he's stood in his room with his hands on his hips like that. My takes are as valid as the next man's. And they are. They are. We haven't done yet. I thought we'd done. Yet, let's hope this isn't a case of the powers that be at Universal being so preoccupied with whether they can. I see what they're doing here. They don't stop to think whether they should. I wish I could do an impression of, any impression, but I wish I could particularly impression of the two people I want to be able to do impressions of. One's Jeff Goldblum and the other's James Mason. But I will never be able to do either of them. Where were we? The commercial case is clear. The creative one is murkier. Despite intriguing concepts like dinosaurs existing in the modern world, the newer installments have struggled to recapture the narrative spark and emotional stakes of Steven Spielberg's original 1993 classic, unless you call Justin. Rebirth drew flack for a formulaic plot and thin character development, and while Johansson, Ali and Bailey brought star power and charisma, their characters haven't quite reached iconic status. Well, no, it was a stupid film. But fun. If they bring Jeff back as the star, I don't think they will. But you never know, do you? You never know these days. I thought he was on his last legs at one point. Because I saw him on something, Jeff Goldblum were on about. I saw him being interviewed or something on TV, and he looked really frail and old. And then next thing I saw, he was in the film. It might have been one of the Thor films. It might have been Ragnarok or one of those. And he was full of life and running about and doing all this cool stuff. And then he were in Jurassic World Dominion, running about and doing stuff. And I thought, Maybe he were ill and he got better. I don't know. But anyway, I hope he lives forever because Jeff Goldblum's amazing. Where were we? Universal now faces a pivotal decision: double down on what's worked financially or take a creative risk to revitalise the franchise. Send them into space. As Rebirth came in well below the $1 billion benchmark hit by 2022's Jurassic World Dominion, there's concern that the series may be approaching franchise fatigue. Past performance suggests that mixed word of mouth could put a dent in future box office returns. Just ask Jurassic Park 3 and its talking dino. I hate it when people bring that up. The talking Velociraptor in Jurassic Park 3. It was a dream sequence. Gets me dead, man. You know, it didn't have the real. It didn't really talk. It was a dream. Universal has a strong opportunity for success with another sequel if Gareth Edwards returns as director and the proven cast comes back. If the next instalment can explore new narrative and thematic ground, it could revitalise the Jurassic Park film franchise, whose own legacy has overshadowed it for decades. Oh, pardon me. While the next move may be risky, the foundation for success is already in place. We have done. There we go. That's it. He put out some music. It's terrible, but he can play the piano well. He's got the hands for it, hasn't he? He's got piano playing fingers. Jeff Goldblum. Dear. So there we go. Jurassic World Rebirth 2, or what will they call it? I don't know. But we're probably going to get it because it made a ton of money, didn't it, at the box office. And I imagine it'll be just as stupid as Jurassic World Rebirth, but I still liked it. I liked how when they did they got the samples, didn't they, of the dinosaurs, and they flew in the air and came down on parachutes, and they always came down just where somebody could catch them. I think the wind didn't take them miles away for some weird reason. But it was still fun, dumb fun. Unlike the Transformers films, which are just dumb. I hate the Transformers films. They're dumb, bloody headed. Right, where are we? Next up. Share this one. We're on to Variety now. Well, that's one Variety, wasn't it, I think, was it? I can't remember. Oh no, Variety was a different one. Oh, don't come up with a bloody ads thing. Just bear with me while I hit refresh a few times. Because I've got an ad blocker. And it's saying, turn off your ad blocker. But if you refresh it a few times, sometimes it lets you carry on. I'm not having ads everywhere. It's just not happening. It's not happening. And even if you've got the ad blocker on, even that, sometimes, some get through, don't they? Come on. Bear with me while I hit refresh. Justy says, that was a hot take. I've genuinely forgot what I said. Transformers. Yes, I hate them. Come on, stop bloody making it. It's going to make me allow ads. It's coming up with a big massive window saying, allow ads. But if you refresh enough times, sometimes it either just stops asking you that, or it says continue without. No, it didn't do it, is it? Right, I'm going to have to allow ads. Apologies. Pause on this side. There we go. Right, refresh it now. So millions of adverts for probably something perverted. Knowing my internet history. Anyway. What do you do? This is come up now. Continue without supporting. Unbelievable. Where were we? Right, at the stage. From Variety, Rebecca Rubin. Again, I think she was the previous one, wasn't she? John Williams to score Steven Spielberg's UFO movie, marking the duo's 30th film together. What if he just wanted to hit 30 and then call it quits? Because it was supposed to retire, wasn't he, after Indiana Jones and the Dial of Dysentery, wasn't he? Just says, I like your alien on the microphone, my little alien, holding my ring of power. There he is. I can't remember where I got him. He just appeared in my house one day and I can't remember where from. Got some more aliens there as well. I don't know why. I've got it. Oh, you can't see him, can you? Never mind. Anywho, where were we? Right, John Williams to score. I've just read that answer. So there we go. There's John Williams and there's Steven Spielberg. And it's like John Williams is eating Steven Spielberg's brain from behind. And he's about to go avacadabra or something. John Williams is confirmed to be, because he did the score for the first 2 Harry Potter films. John Williams is confirmed to be scoring the next film from Steven Spielberg, marking the 30th cinematic collaboration between the Oscar-winning composer and legendary filmmaker. Almost nothing is known about the narrative of the upcoming movie, which is due in theatres in 2026. The Juilliard School president, Damien Wurtzel, I'm probably mispronouncing that, apologies, confirmed the news during an event, John Williams, A Composer's Life, A Night of Stories and Music, hosted on Monday at the renowned Performing Arts School. John Williams, who is in Los Angeles doing what he does, is working with Steven Spielberg on the next movie, and that is something to be happy about, Wurtzel, apologies again, told the audience according to journalist Doug Adams. Universal didn't respond to a request for comment. I don't know why I said it like that. It came out all weird, didn't it? Williams and Spielberg's successful partnership began with 1974's The Sugarland Express. What he credited as Johnny Williams for that? I can't remember. He used to be, didn't he? He used to be credited as Johnny Williams. I'm going to check now. I've never seen Sugarland Express, by the way. I think it's the only Steven Spielberg film I've never watched. No, I'm lying. I haven't seen Amistad either. The Sugarland Express. Let's have a look. All cast and crew. I'm looking on IMDb, by the way. Hey, where are you, John? I'm wrong. No, it just says John Williams. Never mind. Where were we? And continue with big blockbusters like Jaws, E.T. the Extraterrestrial and Jurassic Park, as well as prestige dramas such as Schindler's List, Saving Private Ryan and Lincoln. Williams, 93, suggested in 2022 that he'd retire after finishing the score for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Dysentery, telling the Associated Press his score were good, it always was good work, but the film itself was poo. Telling the Associated Press that Harrison Ford, who's quite a bit younger than I am, has announced it will be his last film. So I thought if Harrison can do it, then perhaps I can also. However, he's since backtracked that statement, saying he wouldn't rule out the possibility of returning for a film that piqued his interest. I don't care much for grand pronunciamentos. Statements that are firm and finished and surrounded by closed doors. If I made one without putting it in context, then I withdraw it, he said to the Times UK in late 2023. Spielberg's film doesn't have a title or logline, but is reportedly a UFO adventure. Universal Pictures, the studio that's releasing the tentpole, how many times have we heard that bloody day, theatrically in June, has described the project as a new original event film. Josh O'Connor, Emily Blunt, Coleman Domingo, cool name, I'm sure he's, or she, I don't know, I've never heard of him, but it's a cool, it rolls off the tongue, doesn't it, Coleman Domingo. For some reason, I saw Leslie Nielsen, as that, that's, he pretended to be the opera singer. Hey, it's Enrico Palazzo. Hey, it's Coleman Domingo. Anyway, Colin Firth and Eve Hewson will lead the ensemble with another Spielberg collaborator, David Koepp, Jurassic Park, War of the Worlds, and Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, set to write the screenplay. Oh, is that it? Right. Emily Blunt in it, is she? So is it going to be with Goody Aliens? Because he did Close Encounters, didn't he? And then he did E.T., which both had goody aliens, nice aliens in it. But then later on, he didn't touch aliens for a while after that. And later on, he did War of the Worlds. And I remember him saying, in an interview, Steven Spielberg saying, he made those films when he was younger and more optimistic. But then he said he probably couldn't make a film about nice aliens, knowing what he knows. And everybody thought, what does he know? I'm sure he's been told stuff. I can't remember if it was for Close Encounters or E.T. One of those where President Reagan says he doesn't know how close to the truth this film is. I can't remember which one it was though. It was probably E.T. Because Close Encounters was before President Reagan's tenure, wasn't it? But anyway, looking forward to that. I'm sure it'll be good. He also did, don't forget, he also did they produced the TV series Taken, did Spielberg, which were really good. And that didn't have goody aliens in. But they were kind of, well, some of them were good and some of them weren't. Some of them were ambivalent. It was more about the people being bad, wasn't it, in Taken? But anyway. But looking forward to this. Will he do the full score or will he just do part of it? Because he did one recently, didn't he, where he provided basically the theme or something, and then somebody else did all the incidental music. I can't remember what that was now. Or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. I can't remember. Anyway, so there we go. Steven Spielberg's UFO movie coming next year. So it must be done. You know, it must be in post-production. Because imagine it'll have effects and stuff in it. So I imagine it'll be in post-production. But we don't know anything about it yet. So, anyway. Is it going to be a big surprise? Some people have suggested it's going to be about Three-Eye Atlas. And it's going to get us ready for Disclosure of First Contact. I don't know. Is that the actual title? UFO movie? It could be, couldn't it? Maybe it's a movie version of UFO, the TV series. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? With Commander Straker and the moon base with the women with the purple wigs on and the UFO interceptors. Dint, 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 dint. I love that series. It's amazing. But probably not. Probably not. So we'll see. Is it going to be a sequel to Close Encounters or E.T.? Don't know. Or is it going to be, an original thing? I imagine it'll be an original thing. Anyway, we'll move on. What's next? What's this one? I'm yawning. Oh dear. So I've got the fire on. It's a bit nippy today. So it's making me yawn. Because it's nice and warm in here. Right, here we go. Next up. From comicbook.com, Nicole Drum. Some cool names, haven't we, tonight? Arnold Schwarzenegger reveals upcoming remake of his 1987 sci-fi movie is better than his film. Okay. Edgar Wright's new adaptation of Stephen King's The Running Man opens in theatres next week, and the eagerly anticipated film is already getting positive reactions. Early reactions to the film praise star Glenn Powell's performance, its action-packed satire, and its faithful adaptation of King's source material. Pardon me. With some even saying that the film is the best King adaptation this year. How many has there been? There were The Long Walk, weren't there? And how many others has there been? I don't know. And I haven't seen The Long Walk. I've heard it's not that good, but I haven't seen it. And it's been a good year for King adaptations, has it? I don't know. How many have we had? Let's have a look. 2025 Stephen King adaptations. Let's see what Google AI tells us. The Monkey. Oh, yes. I quite enjoyed The Monkey as well. The Long Walk. The Life of Chuck. I have no idea what that is. Oh, it's telling us here. Yeah, that's it. And on TV, we've had It, Welcome to Derry, which is really good so far. And The Institute, but that's not been released yet. And I've never heard of it. So it's not been, no, what are you on about? A good year. Not been that much. Anyway. But The Monkey were good. I enjoyed The Monkey. That was a Osgood Perkins film, wasn't it? Anthony Perkins' son. So I found that out this year. I didn't realise. Anyway. But now the film is getting what might be some of the highest praise possible from the man who starred in the original 1987 adaptation of the same story. a loose adaptation. I've not read The Running Man. I've read the Long Walk a long time ago. I haven't read The Running Man, which were both not Stephen King stories. They were both Richard Bachman stories, if I remember rightly, which was Stephen King's pseudonym, or one of them. On Instagram, Wright shared video of Schwarzenegger offering his thoughts on the film, giving his blessing to both the filmmaker and Powell for their work, saying that this new version actually is better than his version because it upped what had been previously done. Oh, there we go. Now then, if I click on this, will it just play or will it go to another screen? Let's see. Oh, is there any audio? Oh, it might not be playing the audio because it said it had stopped sharing the audio, didn't it? Never mind. I will do it. Hang on, we'll go back. Hang on. Will it let me? No, it's just paused it. It's not showing the rest of it. I can't go back. Oh. So it has upped it. It really is fantastic. Thank you. And the action was unbelievable. Oh, and creative. It was funny. And I can't do a Arnold Schwarzenegger either. Oh, that's Edgar Wright, isn't it? You may know from the Cornetto trilogy. Oh, they're giving him a big giant $100 bill with his face on. I think they use that in the film, don't they? Anyway, November 14th, that's coming out. So at some point soon, I'll be doing The Running Man on Magnificent Mondays. Anyway. The only movie that I always wanted to have redone of my movies was The Running Man, Schwarzenegger said. So now this one really... I'm not doing the impression now, am I, for some weird reason. So now this one really upped it and did exactly that. So really fantastic. And the action was unbelievable and creative. Make sure we're still going. Yes, we are. Right. Is that Natalie Portman doing an AI Natalie Portman on the My IQ? If you can answer 10 of these PhD level interviews, you have an IQ over 160. I once did one of these. I think it was actually My IQ. It says take the test. So I thought, I'm curious. I want to see what my IQ is. So I did the test. It took me ages. Went through all these different questions. And then it said, pay such and such amount of money to get the results. I thought, well, sod that. I'm paying you. I'm dead mad. Of course, it isn't just Schwarzenegger who got to share his appreciation for The Running Man in the video Wright shared. The filmmaker honoured Schwarzenegger and his version by including a clever Easter egg. I mean Easter egg. In the film by including his face on the $100 bills used in the dystopian future of The Running Man and gave the actor a giant version of one to call his own. And there he is in the original with what's-his-face in it. It's a big deal for Schwarzenegger to have praise for The Running Man, while his 1987 version was almost nothing like King's book. It was one of the actor's most popular films from the 80s, and the film has long been associated with him. It's a fun film, is The Running Man, directed by Paul Michael Glaser of Starsky and Hutch fame. Anyway. King not only offering his praise, but noting that Wright's film is an improvement over his own film, and one that delivers on his own desire to have seen The Running Man redone, speaks highly of the upcoming film. This also isn't the first time Schwarzenegger has offered praise for the upcoming adaptation. Powell told Screen Rant previously that the actor said it was the first time Stephen's vision had been properly adapted. Add to that King's own praise for the film, but they're not going to say it's crap, are they? He's not going to come with this garbage. My film was much superior. Would he? He wouldn't say that, would he? He's a politician after all. Or he used to be. Anyway. Add to that King's own praise for the film, and it seems like the new Running Man very well could be the adaptation fans have been waiting for. I mean, it's Edgar Wright. He's a good filmmaker, is Edgar Wright, isn't he? As I said, the Cornetto trilogy, Baby Driver, One Night in Soho or something like that. But it was good anyway. That Soho film. What else has he done? I'm blanking. But he's a good filmmaker. King called the upcoming film Die Hard for Our Time, a bipartisan thrill ride on social media. And given that King is notoriously direct about how he feels about adaptations of his work, it's high praise indeed. Yeah, but he's no Alan Moore, is he? I'm wondering though, if it's going to be totally different to the original, the Arnold Schwarzenegger one, will that put fans off? It'll have to be really good, won't it? But anyway, if it's just okay but totally different, people will be saying it should have been like the original. Anyway, even if it is closer to the book, because people have said that about The Shining, haven't they? You know, the new versions, there were a TV version of The Shining, weren't there? But Stephen King loved it because it was closer to the book. A lot of people said it's not as good as Stanley Kubrick's, which were nothing like the book. But anyway. With all of the praise the film is getting, it's starting to look like 2025 might end up being the year of Stephen King, The Monkey, The Life of Chuck. I've just looked all this stuff up before. The Life of Chuck and The Long Walk all came out this year and were all well-received adaptations of the iconic writer's work. Excuse me. There's also television's It, Welcome to Derry, that has also been well-received. It is really good. I'm really enjoying that. Another episode tonight, I think, is there? I think there is episode 3. With the Running Man potentially shaping up to be the best yet, it certainly seems like it's a great time to be a King fan. And hopefully that will translate to a good box office run as well when the Running Man opens in theatres November 14th. I suspect, I've got this feeling that it's not going to do that well. But we'll see. Oh, is that it? There we're done. So there we go. So there we go. The Running Man's coming out. Arnold Schwarzenegger says it's fantastic. But he would say that, wouldn't he? I've got it on Blu-ray, the original one, Schwarzenegger's one. So we'll do that. I should have really, because I've postponed tomorrow's Magnificent Mondays to the 14th when it's coming, when the Running Man's coming out, the new one. But I can't do it. You know, so we'll be doing iRobot that week, so I can't do it tomorrow because of life. But anyway, so there we go. I hope it'll be good. I hope it'll be really good, and people will be saying it's not as good as the Arnold Schwarzenegger version, because that was just an action film, wasn't it? An 80s action film. Whereas I guess with Edgar Wright it might be a bit more thoughtful, but with good action. But and closer to the book, which I've not read. So there we go. Right, moving on. James Bond next. We're still on comicbook.com. Chris Agar. James Bond 26 release date gets disappointing update, but it makes sense. You know, I've not read this, so I don't know what the update is. I'll just wait on the title. So I'll be learning this. Sometimes I scan ahead, you see, to see what's going on. And I've just gone for it with this one. I hope it's not too disappointing. Anyway, the James Bond franchise is about to enter a new era. By the way, at the moment on Amazon Prime, in the UK at least, the James Bond films are free, if you know what I mean. If you're a subscriber to Amazon Prime, they're free. You don't have to pay extra for them. So I don't know how long that'll last for. They've done it before. They do it for a while, don't they? They let you watch all the James Bond films for free, and then suddenly, bang, you've got to start paying for them. But at the moment, they're free to watch if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, which is cool. The James Bond franchise is about to enter a new era. Earlier this year, Amazon gained full creative control of the lucrative IP, launching a new joint venture with former James Bond producers Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson. Shortly after, the pieces for Bond 26 started to fall into place. Producers Amy Pascal and David Heyman are overseeing the project, and they've recruited acclaimed director Denis Villeneuve to call the shots. While it's unknown which actor will take on the role of 007 this time around, I hope it's somebody good and not somebody stupid. Villeneuve's involvement is more than enough to get cinephiles excited about James Bond's future. Unfortunately, it sounds like fans are in for a long wait before they get a chance to see the film. Is that the disappointment? It's going to be a while. In a piece on Heyman's production company Heyday Films, Screen Daily notes excuse me, that the producer told the outlet that no timeline has been set on when the first feature in the relaunched franchise will be made or released. Denis Villeneuve is still filming June 3, Heyman said. I thought he'd stopped filming. I thought filming had wrapped. I thought they were in post-production. Anyway, there's Daniel Craig. He's an ugly bugger, isn't he? He's like a bloody troll, isn't he? Anyway. Heyman's comments, but he was a good James Bond. I did, for the most part, enjoy his film. Heyman's comments will surely disappoint James Bond fans. It's been 4 years since Daniel Craig's tenure ended with No Time to Die, and audiences are eager to see 007 embark on his next mission. However, the lack of a concrete timeline for Bond 26 makes sense. As Heyman notes, Villeneuve is in the middle of production on Dune Part 3, which is set to be the third and final chapter. Will it be? In the director's epic sci-fi trilogy. Dune will take up a lot of Villeneuve's time for the foreseeable future. The first 2 installments were critically acclaimed box office hits, setting a high bar for the next film to reach. That old Yorkshire Bond. Hey up, my name's Bond, James Bond, than us. 007, Licence to Kill. It's been reported that the casting process for James Bond 26 won't begin until next year, and an exact time frame is unknown. It's Amazon, so I'm out. They want to replace a lot of people with AI. Also, they did Kubi's family wrong. Well, they paid him $1 billion, didn't they? But $1 billion extra to whatever they paid him before. So I think Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson are probably fine with it. They think it's fair enough. Just keep throwing money at us. We'll see, won't we? We'll see what happens. I just hope they don't make it for a modern audience, because then it'll be rubbish. Anyway, we'll see what happens, won't we? Villeneuve likely won't want to turn his attention to Bond until after he's finished with Dune Part 3, which began principal photography in July and is still filming months later. Oh, no, maybe I'd seen filming had begun. I thought I'd seen somewhere that filming had finished. Anyway, it's unknown when Villeneuve will wrap. Excuse me. But there will surely be extensive post-production work to do on Dune Part 3, given the franchise's incredible scope and visual effects. I thought I'd seen somewhere that Bond were going to start filming next April. I'm sure I'd seen that somewhere. Let me check. Oh, it's going to begin production or something. Bond 26. Maybe I dreamt it. AI Overview, thanks Google, says it is unlikely that Bond 26 will begin production in April 2026. This date has been mentioned in some reports. That's probably where I've seen it. But is described as a rumour. No blooming rumours, eh? Right, fair enough. Fair enough. That might be one of... Oh, here we go. Yes, it was the Sun. So, it was the Sun. Where is it? Say it somewhere. I've seen it somewhere. Where the hell is it? Yes, it was in the British newspaper, The Sun, which is, world acclaimed for its factual accuracy. Said that production going to start in April 2026. It's in this news article that I'm looking at there, but I can't find it. But never mind. I knew I'd seen it somewhere. Anyway, but it's probably wrong. I forgot where I were up to now. It's unknown when Villeneuve will wrap, but there will surely be extensive post-production work to do on Dune Part 3, given the franchise's incredible scope of visual effects. There's also the possibility Villeneuve will need to handle pickups/reshoots. Well, I'm sure he will, depending on how the film rounds into shape in the edit. Sometimes they're done by, second unit, though, aren't they? But it'll still have to be available for advice and stuff, won't it? But anyway, he could spend the majority of 2026 occupied with Dune responsibilities. I don't think he will. Sydney Sweeney responds to James Bond rumours. Ooh, blimey. Justice says, I know I can be a pain with my takes. Just have passion. You're fine. There's nothing wrong with your takes. no matter how hot they are. We've all got our opinions, you're then entitled to it. Anyway, with all that in mind, the earliest Bond 26 could get in front of the cameras is 2027. But we'll see, won't we? And that's if everything goes smoothly without a hitch from here. Villeneuve and co. will surely cast a wide net during their James Bond casting search. That isn't something to take lightly, and the filmmakers will be wise to take their time during what will be a gruelling audition process. As long as it's not Timothy Chalamet. My channel will be Hot Cakes and Takes with Justin34. Sounds cool, hot cakes. Because they'll be selling like them in no time at all. Where were we up to? Understandably, much of the attention has been focused on the starring role, but there will probably be other parts to fill. Probably. It's not going to be just James Bond, the one-man show, is it? Since Bond 26 is a reboot of the franchise, supporting characters like M, Q and Moneypenny will likely also be recast. Not necessarily. They didn't recast M for the Daniel Craig Bonds, did they? Still, they had Judi Dench in, even though technically she was a different character. She had a different name, apparently, to the M that we saw in the Pierce Brosnan Bonds. But anyway. So she was technically a different character, played by the same actress. Where were we? And Villeneuve will also need to find the next Bond girl. Assuming Villeneuve is able to work on Bond 26 casting next year, production starting in 2027 for a 2028 release seems reasonable. It's frustrating fans may have to wait that long for the next James Bond film, but Villeneuve makes it all worthwhile. Thanks to works like Sicario, which is excellent, Blade Runner 2049, which is boring but looks nice, and it's got Ana de Armas in it, which is also a plus, who was also in No Time to Die, in probably one of the best scenes in the film. And the Dune series, which are okay. I didn't like Arrival. I thought it was boring as hell, Arrival. But anyway. Villeneuve has cemented himself as one of this era's defining filmmakers. He has an eye not just for grand scale, but also compelling character-driven stories, making him an ideal choice to launch a new iteration of James Bond. Amazon knew of his commitment to Dune Part 3 before hiring him for the job, so the studio seems okay with taking their time. They should have given it to Martin Campbell. He's the go-to man for rebooting Bond, isn't he? He did GoldenEye and Casino Royale, so they should have got him back in. What do you think? I've just told you what I think. Get Martin Campbell in. Have Villeneuve as a producer. So there we go. I don't think it'll be that long. I think it'll start next year. I think it'll start filming next year. I think it's further along than what they're telling us. I bet they've got a script and everything. Anna needs a full role as a Bond girl. It'd be nice to see her again. But I think it's going to be. I think they're going to move away from the Daniel Craig Bonds now. I don't think we're going to see any crossovers. But yeah, it'd be nice if they could have done a spin-off. But they're a bit weird with spin-offs. They're supposed to do a spin-off for Jinx, weren't they? I can't remember her name now. Storm from the X-Men. Halle Berry. They're supposed to do a spin-off, weren't they, for Halle Berry, Jinx character from Die Another Day, but that never happened, did it? Anna de Armas, she was in that Ballerina, wasn't she? Which another film I've not seen, but I've heard is okay. John Wick spin-off, isn't it? Anyway, so we'll see what happens. I hope they get a good Bond, and I hope they get a good Bond villain and good Bond girl, and I'm sure, well, I'm not sure, but I hope it'll all work out, and I hope they don't make it James Bond for a modern audience, and I hope they don't go too young for James Bond. I hope we see Bond, as 007, not getting his... I didn't like Casino Royale because it were, James Bond getting his 007. And then the next film carried it straight on. And then Skyfall were like years after that. And it kept jumping years, didn't they? Until by the end they were a grizzled, retired 00 agent. But anyway. Justice says, Denis is good, but Bond is not his cup of tea. We'll see, won't we? I don't know. That's a Sicario. Although that wasn't a Bond film, it was like an action cop sort of thing, wasn't it? That were a good film, and it did that well. So, but anyway, it won't be as good if he sticks to the books. Dune Messiah was interesting, but it was very preachy. I've only read the first Dune book, so, and that were a long time ago. I haven't read the others. I've got the first 3 Dune books. I've only read the first one. I haven't read the other 2. I can't remember what order they're in. There's Dune Messiah and Children of Dune, isn't there? I can't remember which is the second one. Which I think they're putting them. Is Dune 3 going to be those 2 books mashed into one? I don't know. But anyway. I don't know. But anyway, looking forward to Bond 26. I hope they do it justice and don't bugger it up. But I bet they do. I bet they do. I bet they make a mess of it. But we'll see. We'll see. Right, next. We're nearly there. We're getting there. Share this tab. Speaking of sequels and reboots or whatever, I don't know. Dune Messiah is the second book. All right, fair enough. John Carpenter's been opening his big fat gob. Here he is. This is TV Squad via Yahoo. Nikita Mahamana. Who wouldn't? John Carpenter offers The Thing 2 update, but you shouldn't get too excited. Because, he's getting on his John Carpenter, isn't he? Who wouldn't want to visit the follow-up to the classic 1982 Antarctic set alien carnage horror film The Thing? Ignoring the prequel, The Thing. That was just confusing, calling it the same. Which I liked, but I just wish they hadn't made it. It could be to settle the debate over the ambiguous ending. I prefer to let it be, says Nikita. Or maybe to see what happens next. Either way, it's an exciting proposition. John Carpenter, by the way, is that big enough? Can you read it? So I'll make it a bit bigger. It's massive on my screen, but I don't know what it's like on yours. Is that working? There we go. John Carpenter has now shared an exciting update about the sequel that nobody knew was happening. Justice says, no, we don't need The Thing 2. I agree, we don't. I'd rather see a sequel to the prequel, if you know what I mean. The one with, what's her face? I forgot her name now. Elizabeth, what's her face? That one. I'd rather see a sequel to that. I want to see her arrive at the Russian base. The thing too. The comics already settled it. There were a game as well, wasn't there? Out for the PS2. I think it's out now for PS5. I think you can download it, like a remastered version. I've not played it. I used to have it for the PS2, but I never played it. I started it, but didn't get very far. Anyway, I forgot what I want now. John Carpenter has now shared an exciting update about the sequel at the recent Fan Expo Philadelphia while answering audience questions about the probable sequel. I've noticed nobody's using whilst anymore. Has everybody picked up on that? I hate it. I'm that famous with my billions of views that journalists have said we can't put whilst in articles because that old Yorkshire geek will pick us up on it. While answering audience questions about the probable sequel, Carpenter said, "We're working on it now." I don't know. We'll see. And that's not all. So we're working on it now. I don't know. We'll see. Pretty vague, John. Interestingly, this is not the first... I bet he was smoking as well. Interestingly, this is not the first time Carpenter has updated fans about a possible sequel. This exercise has been long going on. Back in 2023, while speaking at Texas Frightmare Weekend, Carpenter teased fans about the sequel. "I have been sworn to secrecy, okay," he said, while smoking. "Because there may be, I don't know if there will be, there may be a Thing 2. And there's a shot from the original Thing. They could have picked a better one than that, couldn't they? I mean, but never mind. I mean, the shot of the head coming off and then the tongue coming out, and it's the best practical effects I've ever seen in a film. That isn't. From Rob Bottin. And then in 2022, in an interview with Fandom, Carpenter once again renewed... Actually, no, that would be far. We're working backwards. Once again renewed the discussion about the Thing 2 sequel. Quote, "I just think there's another bit of story to tell there, which I'm not going to tell you about." And then he goes on to tell him about it. "But there have been some discussions about the Thing and what we could do, because as far as we know, both those two main characters, Childs, Keith David, and McCready, Kurt Russell, are still alive. They were alive at the end of the Thing, so maybe they're still alive," he said. They did actually film, didn't they? An ending where they'd been rescued and they'd been tested and both of them weren't the Thing. But they decided not to include it. I'm sure they filmed it. I know it were in the script. Just said, "He quit smoking." Cool. I love John, but he's very flip-floppy. Yes, he is. he likes talking, doesn't he? That's why he loves talking about his films, which is why his DVDs and Blu-rays are the best, because they always get a commentary from John Carpenter, don't they? And others. But sometimes he just waffles a bit, doesn't he? Anyway, it's been more than 40 years since the film bombed, was resurrected, because it didn't do well at the box office originally, did the Thing, because it went up against E.T., didn't it? But anyway, but found a cult following on VHS and home rentals and stuff like that, didn't it? Was resurrected. Whenever I think of the Thing from back then, I always think of the video store where we first rented it from, which were actually a pub called the John F. Kennedy, which is still there, but it's not a pub anymore. It's just been renovated. I pass it walking into town. There were a video library you could rent videos from, and that's where we rented the Thing from back in probably 1983, probably by this time. He had no issue with Rob Zombie. Now he hates him. Right, fair enough. He doesn't care really about people remaking his stuff, does he? As long as he gets the checks. As long as the checks keep coming, he's not bothered. Because he's done his bit. And everybody likes them, for the most part. Anyway. Where were we? I'll start again. It's been more than 40 years since the film bombed, was resurrected, and then thrived among the fans. Or amongst, even. But if Carpenter is down to bring back the shape-shifting alien, who are we to dull the excitement for those who want to see the story continued? But of course, word of caution, everything must be taken with a grain of salt. Oh, that it? Right, fair enough. That it. So, yeah. So, as I said, he said this before, hadn't he? So, but it wasn't like a million years ago, was it? Like 2022 and 2023. So maybe there are talks to bring back the Thing. Who knows? And, could they have McCready back? And Keith David and Russell, Kurt Russell are still knocking about, have they? I think. Kurt Russell is, because he's been playing Santa, hasn't he, every year, for the last few years. But, anyway. Tell him, I've got no sniffly for some reason, I don't know why. Anywho, so, we'll see. It doesn't need a sequel, does it? It doesn't, or a reboot. But it were a remake itself, wasn't it, of the 1950 something, 51? That sounds a bit early, doesn't it? 1950s. It was itself a remake of the 1950s film, The Thing from Another World. So whatever. He should get nothing for Halloween. He sold his steak after 4. So sorry, John. There you go. I think he's still. He was a writer, wasn't he, on the first 2, 3-ish, wasn't he? Anywho, so there we go, The Thing 2. Maybe it's coming, maybe it's not. You never know. John Carpenter says a lot. But we'll see. I'm sure he's gone off on another tour doing his music and all that stuff. But bless him. He's a national treasure. Over there, John Carpenter is amazing. Love him. Love him to death. Right. And finally, it's a Star Trek one. I've not read this one, so we will see what happens. This is from Slash Film, not Italic Eye Film. 5 reasons why Star Trek's Kelvin timeline failed. So there it is. Because as we know, we're not getting any more Kelvin timeline films, after Star Trek 09, Into Darkness, Star Trek Beyond. That's the lot we're getting. Yay! Thank goodness, even though I kind of liked Star Trek Beyond. But bits of it were annoying. Only 5? Yeah, exactly. Yes, as I said, I've not read this, so I don't know what the 5 reasons are. Maybe I'll start shouting at some point. Anyway, this is from Ryan Scott at Italic Eye Film. And there they are in... Is that from the first film? I don't bloody know. We may receive a commission on purchases made from links. They just wanted us to know that. Not doing the Patrick Stewart news. Well, I haven't seen that. Was that today? I don't know. I haven't seen any Patrick Stewart news. So. No, I'm not. Let's have a look. Patrick Stewart. Let's see what he's up to. I'll click on news and see what it says. That's from 4 days ago. Going to be in Avengers Doomsday. Is that it? Planning to retire from acting. Is it that? I don't know. Whatever. No, a few days old. I don't know. Only thing that's appearing on the news is that he may be going to be in Doomsday. He had an American hamburger. I don't know. There's all different stories. That's a different Patrick Stewart. So, yeah, I think it's going to be in Avengers Doomsday. Marvel star will reportedly say goodbye to their iconic X-Men role in Avengers Doomsday. X-Men star Patrick Stewart is rumoured to leave this character behind after Avengers Doomsday, so he's not be playing Professor Xavier after Doom. Fair enough. Yeah, Doomsday is his final role before, as in Brent Spiner, retiring. Fair enough. It's about bloody time, to be honest. I've kind of fallen out with Patrick Stewart. I've fallen out with pretty much all of the Star Trek actors, most of them, because they're all bloody idiots. They do me head in. But anyway. Justin says, Kelvin Timeline was terrible overall, like 2009. But overall, it changed Star Trek into Star Wars. Yes, because J.J. Abrams knew nothing about Star Trek, and he said he was never a Star Trek fan, and he was a Star Wars fan. And he even went on to ruin Star Wars, but never mind. Right, after years of discussion, it's finally time to say goodbye to the Kelvin Timeline. By the way, it's called that, in case you didn't know. I'm sure you did. Because J.J. Abrams' dad or granddad, I think it's his granddad, isn't it, were called Kelvin. So he included the name Kelvin in all of his stuff. So in Star Trek 09 we had the Kelvin, USS Kelvin. In Star Wars it mentions something like the Kelvin Ridge or something like that. So he always mentions the word Kelvin, or there's a place called Kelvin, or let's say a ship or whatever, in all of his films apparently. That's why it's called the Kelvin Timeline. Star Trek fans. Granted, it's been almost a decade since we've seen Chris Pine's Captain Kirk on the big screen, dating back to 2016 Star Trek Beyond, but Paramount has made it official. It's moving on. But in what way? It's been 2 times longer since the last Kelvin film than between Enterprise and 09. Yes, like I said, we're only 4 years, wasn't it? Between... Enterprise ended in 2005, didn't it? Anywho, it was only just reported that Paramount, which has merged with Skydance and is now under new leadership, is working on a new Star Trek movie, but it won't involve the Kelvin cast. That ensemble first emerged in... But we've not had any... Sorry, moving on. They're dumping the Kelvin timeline, so I presume they're getting, they're distancing themselves from Bad Robot and JJ. But we've not had any news about Kurtzman and Secret Hideout, have we? Which and there was talk that Kurtzman had fallen out, because Kurtzman was a Bad Robot acolyte, wasn't he? He was a JJ what's the word? I'll just say it again, acolyte. But they fell out over something, didn't they? Ended up hating each other. That's the word around the water cooler. But I suspect Kurtzman's going to stick around doing TV Star Trek for a while. But anyway. Other rumour is, says Windgrace, is Paramount is getting Doctor Who, but I don't believe it. I can't see that myself. I'm trying to think. It'd be more likely. I'm trying to think who owns Paramount. Oh no, it's Skydance, isn't it? What film studio does Sony own? I can't remember now. Can't bloody remember. Sony owns one at studios, doesn't it? I can't remember which one it is. I'm blanking. It'd be more like it's them, wouldn't it? Because Sony's got a big stake in Bad Wolf, haven't they, who do Doctor Who. I'm going to have to look that up now. Why's it not telling me? Why's it not telling me? Why your AI working all of a sudden? Columbia, that's it, Columbia. There we go. Sony doesn't have a streaming platform though. That's true. That's true. It used to, didn't it? It used to have its PlayStation streaming platform. Maybe they're going to set one up. I doubt it. Anywho, where were we? We'll start again. Under new leadership, that's where we want it. He's working on a new Star Trek movie, but it won't involve the Kelvin cast. That ensemble first emerged in the 2009 Star Trek reboot film, directed by J.J. Abrams. Technically, it wasn't a reboot, though. It was like a sidequel or whatever. It's in another universe, wasn't it? Which gave the franchise new life in the broader cultural sphere. But after Beyond, things got messy, uncertain, and now this ride is over. There has been talk of another entry in the Kelvin timeline dating back to 2016. 16, at which point it was first revealed that Chris Hemsworth might return as George Kirk in a version of Star Trek 4 that was later scrapped. George Kirk being James T. Kirk's dad, who died at the beginning of Star Trek 2009. Windgrace, enjoyed your post of the juggler card. Wish I had $1 for every time someone uses reboot incorrectly. As I said, it was like it was more of a sequel, wasn't it? Like I said, sidequel, whatever you could, whatever. Anyway. Ever since then, there have been endless discussions, creative shifts, and other distractions that derailed any hope of a continuation. Now it's simply a thing that could have been rather than the thing that will be. So what went wrong exactly? Whoop, there you go. Why did the Kelvin timeline ultimately fail? We're going to look at some of the biggest reasons why Star Trek 4 fell apart and why this iteration of the legendary sci-fi franchise is part of its past rather than its future. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, shall we? That's classic album reviews. Oh, Barry, let's get into it. If you know, you know. Oh, the TNG cards. I forgot I made that. For members only, isn't it? For us members only. Good video. Right, the movies got too expensive, which they did, because they were too expensive to start with. From 2009 onwards. Anyway, Star Trek has been a staple of pop culture dating back to the 60s when the original series aired on TV for the first time. Rather crucially, though, this is a franchise that traces its roots to the small screen and not as a series of feature films. Oh, excuse me. Of feature films. Star Trek the Motion Picture proved that there was an appetite for such movies. I'm going to get angry here now. But at a certain price point. Generally speaking, the Star Trek films have thrived as mid-budget plays. When they get too expensive, things get dicey. But Star Trek the Motion Picture, maybe that's why they say generally speaking, Star Trek the Motion Picture at the time was the most expensive film ever made. But we'll just gloss over that. That's precisely what happened with the Kelvin timeline. Pretty much from the jump. 2009 Star Trek made $386.8 million at the global box office against a $140 million budget. It was a good but not great result for a movie that expensive. Wingrace says, having just rewatched all three, I didn't really like any of them as much as I used to. I think they've gotten worse with age, even though Trek culture just said they got much better with time. I've kind of fallen out with Trek culture. I forgot his name now. Sean, what's his face? He kind of does me head in. He's a lovely fella, but he does me head in. Ups and downs. Bloody all ups, just about. Anyway. I forgot what I want now. Yeah, it was a good but great. Yeah, but it gave Paramount the sense that this franchise could be bigger, and that's precisely what happened. Star Trek Into Darkness made $467.3 million worldwide, which remains a record for the property, but it also cost almost $190 million before marketing. Meanwhile, Beyond made just $335.6 million globally on a $185 million budget, which made it a major disappointment, i.e. it lost money. Sean Ferrick. Sorry, his name just came to me then. Sorry, I'm saying his name. Sean Ferrick. Gone off you, mate. You kind of doing me head in. But anyway. By contrast, movies like the much-beloved Star Trek First Contact were far cheaper to make. In this case, we're looking at a $45 million movie that grossed $150 million worldwide. But again, that's not amazing, is it, really? But that's the sweet spot for these movies. I mean, it'll made a profit, but it's not a huge profit, historically speaking. But Paramount's eyes got big, and J.J. Abrams doesn't tend to work cheap. In the end, the prospect of making Star Trek 4 with an expensive A-list cast, I mean, they were A-list for the first one at the time, stopped making sense on paper, particularly as the box office remains on wildly uncertain ground in the pandemic era. Granted, I think seeing them on the big screen was half of the appeal. Yeah. I mean, Star Trek 09 were one of my first one of my biggest disappointments. Like Robert Marbenet's always going on about, see Return of the Jedi was his biggest cinematic disappointment. Star Trek 09 were mine. Because I was hyped for that film. After the trailers and stuff like that, I was really hyped for that film. And I was hugely disappointed. Just make a jailer solo adventure. I mean, yes, you were the best part. Jailer were the best part of Star Trek Beyond. Their terrible 2009 is watchable. Rest just don't feel like Trek. I'm sorry, Berman. Their style Trek was so good. Terry could turn it around. We'll see. He's busy though, isn't he, with the Vision Quest. But I suppose, you know, if they wait, they might get him back. I don't think Kurtzman's going anywhere. Anyway, for Kelvin to continue, it needed to scale down, and that didn't seem plausible with all of the pieces on the board. Star Trek was thriving. Are we in now? Is that number one? Because that put numbers, have they? Is that number one? Movies got too expensive. Is this number two? Star Trek was thriving on the small screen. Was it? I don't think so. There's from Into Darkness. My name is Khan. Is that and? Anyway, Star Trek Beyond was liked well enough. No, it wasn't. It's generally thought of as the worst Star Trek film, isn't it? Star Trek Into... Beyond. I'm thinking of Into Darkness. Whatever. Star Trek Beyond was liked well enough. Yes, it was. But it came out in 2016, and the following year, Paramount decided to double down on Star Trek on TV, taking it back to its roots. while keeping one eye on the future. Beginning in 2017 on CBS All Access before it became Paramount Plus, Star Trek Discovery started its 5-season run. Whether or not every Trekkie loved it is another conversation entirely. Yes, it is. But the fans were engaging with the show. It was also just the tip of the iceberg. I like Star Trek Discovery Season 1 for the most part. Yes, the Klingons look rubbish. And, it had a lot of problems. But I still kind of enjoyed Season 1. After that, I didn't. This kicked the door open for a new era of Trek on TV for the streaming era. Patrick Stewart would also return for Picard, which enjoyed the 3-season run. Well, it had 2 seasons, and then people enjoyed the third, for the most part. Although I think we were overrated, but anyway. Picard Season 3 was also a major Next Generation reunion, which was huge for the fan base. Yes, the fans liked that. Meanwhile, other fans could also enjoy animated shows like Lower Decks, and even kids had Prodigy, which wasn't really for kids. But whatever. Not TV, streaming, exactly. I know Star Trek fans who don't even know they're making new Star Trek because it isn't on TV. They do. What were it? I think when it was still CBS All Access, I think before it went to Paramount Plus, they did an experiment, didn't they? They put Star Trek Discovery on CBS, didn't they? And it came bottom of the ratings, didn't it? So that shows how well that did on regular TV. Anyway, they don't promote it unless you already have Paramount. Yeah. Discovery could have been so much better. The writing execution was bad. It was, yes. Yes, it was. Most new Trek is terrible, but anyway. Even the good stuff, even the stuff I enjoy, I admit is terrible. But anyway. Then came Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which remains downright cherished by the fandom. No, it ain't. It's in. I'm a Strange New Worlds fan, but last season wasn't that good. But anyway, it's 3 seasons in with more on the way. Well, another full season. When you say full season, it's not really, is it? But you know what I mean. A season and a bit left. A season 4, and then a short season 5. And then that's it. Without picking each show apart, there's a lot of variety here and a little something for every sort of Trekkie. Star Trek has been straight up thriving on TV in recent years, except it hasn't. It hasn't. It's existed on streaming TV, as Wingrace rightly said, in recent years. It hasn't been thriving. It's not very often been popping up in the charts, in the TV charts. It's just there, bubbling. Probably getting, a few views from the Trek fan base, but it's not like blowing. It's no bloody Yellowstone or all these other shows, is it? Blowing the doors off stuff. Just says they need to have longer seasons. Yes, we need to go back to the 20+ episode seasons and getting them out every year like they used to. Not waiting like 2 and 3 years between seasons. Just get on with it. You're making TV shows. You're not making movies. Although saying that, I always remember when TOYG first came out, they were always saying, we're making a 45-minute movie every week. But anyway, but they're not. Season 1 and maybe half of Season 2 was good. Since then, not good. And about Discovery. I enjoyed Discovery Season 1 because it were different and I just wanted to see what was going to happen. And then it just turned to poo, didn't it? I'm good with 15. Would love 24, but if compromised for 15, yes. At least 15 episodes they should do, shouldn't they? But anywho, but imagine if we'd had this sort of TV forever. What we get now, these short seasons. We'd never have had 24, would we? That needed a 24 episode season. Anyway, where were we? It's only become harder to get people to head to movie theatres of late because streaming has become the go-to delivery system for entertainment. Thus, a Star Trek movie became increasingly difficult to sell as these shows continue to thrive. They haven't thrived. They've just existed. We have Star Trek at home is one way to look at it. Paramount, in its pursuit of getting skin in the game in the streaming wars, kneecapped its case to make another Kelvin timeline film. I'm not sure if I agree with that. Wingray says season 5 of Disco had some decent stuff, but they lightened up the tone and started doing episodic quests. But it feels on its face. But it fell on its face too. I didn't like season. I didn't. I didn't like it. Strange New Worlds was what I was talking about. Oh right, fair enough. Strange New Worlds season 1 and 2. Right, fair enough. Half of season 2. I like both season 1 and 2, but not a fan of season 3 of Strange New Worlds. Season 5 is good over. I disagree. I didn't like season 5. Oh dear. There we've got. Is this number 3? Don't know. No clear consensus on creative direction. Paramount first started discussing the fourth Kelvin Star Trek movie in 2016 before Beyond even hit theatres. That version, as mentioned, would have involved Chris Hemsworth returning as Kirk's dad. It never came together, and ever since it's been an up and down roller coaster of new writers, directors' ideas and other movies, making it clear there was no consensus at the studio when it came to creative direction. That's like modern Hollywood, isn't it, to be honest? People just pulling in different directions all the time. It says that time travel episode Discovery 5 was really good. I can't remember, but nothing to write home about. But that good, I can't remember it. Genuinely can't. Noah Hawley Fargo was at one point going to make a version of Star Trek 4, but that fell apart. Thank goodness, because look what he did with bloody Alien Earth. Jesus. That goes double for the version that was almost helmed by Matt Shackman, the Fantastic Four First Steps. Creatives came and went. They're going to mention... yes, they are. Creatives came and went, with the cast providing little updates along the way, but nothing ever materialised. But these creative issues aren't limited to this specific sequel. Other ventures have muddied the waters over the years as well. Quentin Tarantino famously tried to get an R-rated Star Trek movie made. It would have been awful. It didn't happen. Several other Star Trek films not explicitly related to the Kelvin timeline were put into development as well. It became crystal clear that getting any Trek movie across the finish line was going to be difficult, if not downright impossible. The creative back and forth behind the scenes undoubtedly helped extinguish any real hope that this iteration of the franchise might actually carry on. As recently as last year, it looked like the Kelvin Star Trek movies might get one last chapter, but those hopes are now dashed. There was no confidence or clarity of direction, and that was evident to anyone who pays attention to the goings-on of Hollywood. The Kelvin timeline became mired in the uncertainty surrounding the franchise's future. As I said, there were too many people pulling in different directions. And so it just fizzled out. But anyway, Justin says, I love Picard season 1. For the most part, I didn't mind Picard season 1, but by the end, I hated the final episode. But I probably won't be able to watch it now. Even though I didn't mind it annoyed me. I could watch it. I was thinking, oh, okay, fair enough. But there were bits in it that did me head in. But anyway, 2 good ideas. Season 2, good ideas, but bad overall. Season 2, terrible. Q stuff was good. In season 2, no, it won't. Season 3 had faults, but was just magical. Season 3 was okay. I didn't mind season 3. I didn't think it was good as everybody made it out to be. But it was nice to see the D back, wasn't it? Which were the highlight. That made up for all its other shortcomings. But anyway, I will die on the Picard show hill. Fair enough. And Wingray says, even his idea for the movie sounds bad. I don't want it. I mean, about Tarantino. It'd have been terrible, wouldn't it? Anyway, Picard, the series that killed every recurring Trek character, didn't have their name in the credits. Pretty much. Pretty much. Hugh and Ensign Rowe and who else were there? There'll be others as well, won't there? Picard dying, man, cried my eyes out. There's made into a robot, didn't they? Anyway, well, that was 3, wasn't it? So number 4, Paramount waited too long to make Star Trek 4. That's from Beyond, isn't it? Star Trek Beyond, I think. If Paramount truly wanted to make Star Trek 4 and keep the Kelvin timeline alive, it missed the window to do so. Sure, it could have pressed forth by doing so anyway, but that wouldn't have made a great deal of sense, for as complicated as the financials may have been in the aftermath of Beyond, it feels like a fool's errand to try and do the movie now. In short, the studio truly missed the window of opportunity, for at least for now anyway. Sequels that happen years after their predecessors often have a big hill to climb, unless we're talking about Avatar: The Way of Water, i.e. a film with a feverish built-in demand. So it didn't. It had a feverish built-in demand from James Cameron, but everybody kind of forgot about it, didn't they? Avatar's a weird animal, isn't it? It's a film that everybody goes to see, and it makes like billions at the box office, and then everybody kind of forgets about it until another one comes along. So, anyway. The Roe stuff was touching. Yeah, she had a good out, did Roe, didn't she? Shelby's not dead. Yes, Cheb. Q's not dead either, is he? Because he can't kill Q. You know, he said he died, but did he? He turned up at the end of Picard, didn't he? But Shelby's not dead. Thaddeus Riker. Isn't a robot really? He's a golem, totally different. He's a robot. Don't know anyone who loves Avatar. It's just a fine thing they've... Exactly. But Q didn't really die. Well, Terry said they're all alive off screen. He didn't show it, so that means nothing to whoever comes next. Okie dokie. Anyway, where were we? A new Star Trek movie, especially an expensive one, would have to earn its audience outside of hardcore Trekkies. That's the key difference. Any momentum maintained by Beyond has long since burned out. Speaking of Avatar, the Kelvin cast has become far too busy to wrangle in the years since. Zoe Saldana will be making Avatar movies until 2031 as it stands, while Pine became an even bigger star thanks to the Wonder Woman films. Elsewhere, what's he done since? Elsewhere, Zachary Quinto and Simon Pegg have remained quite busy working on TV shows and the Mission Impossible movies, respectively. But they all said they were willing to come back, didn't they? I think even Zoe Saldana said. I'm sure she did. Justin says, war is about to be declared. USA versus Britain 3. Just joking. It's all good and well that Pine argued Star Trek 4 should be smaller with the core fans in mind, but when he made that argument in 2024, it was already too little too late. At this point, Paramount would be better off letting the Kelvin timeline go for another handful of years, perhaps attempting to reunite the cast down the road once the nostalgia cycle catches up with these movies, but until then, the momentum is good and truly gone. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, they left it too long. But, you know, movies are different to TV shows. I think you can leave a TV show too long. I mean, there's too many years between seasons, isn't there, these days? But movies are kind of different, aren't they? I think you can leave it longer with the film. But anyway. Star Trek isn't Star Wars. No, it isn't. And the Enterprise in the JJ films is ugly. It's awful. It looks hideous. But anyway. That's what I said. They're crabbing from my 200 view video. I imagine so, or cribbing, even. Anyway, where were we? Star Trek isn't Star Wars. This is not about opening up the age-old debate of Star Trek versus Star Wars. There is, however, no denying that when J.J. Abrams kicked off the Kelvin timeline in 2009, it felt like an attempt to fill the void left behind by Star Wars, which concluded its prequel trilogy in 2005. It wasn't until 2012, when Disney purchased Lucasfilm, that more Star Wars became a thing. Somewhat ironically, it was Abrams who was tasked with reviving a galaxy far, far away drinking game. With Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens in 2015. To that end, The Force Awakens made more than $2 billion at the box office. I saw it 3 times at the cinema. Becoming one of the biggest movies of all time. No Star Trek film has made even a fraction of that amount. Just says, plus Peg said some bad stuff about the fan base also. Sam Peg sometimes says idiotic stuff. Yes, that's been my biggest problem. They made Star Trek into Star Wars. I mean, Simon Pegg, what was it now? I can't remember what he said now. But it got me angry. It was said basically, fans shouldn't, complain too much about stuff. We're giving you entertainment and all that, and we shouldn't complain. But you made an entire series, Spaced Season 2, about what George Lucas did with the prequels. But anyway, terrible movie, Force Awakens. I still quite enjoy Force Awakens. I don't like the other two, but I quite enjoy Force Awakens. But anyway. I forgot where I went. To that end, I've said that bit, haven't I? Becoming one of the biggest movies of all time. No Star Trek film has made even a fraction of that amount. With Star Wars back, that action-adventure sci-fi void wasn't there for Star Trek to fill. Abrams took much of the iconography he was playing with in his Trek films and put it into Wars. There was no longer a need for a surrogate. Average moviegoers and global audiences had Star Wars again. Paramount wanted to make Star Trek into a bigger thing. It wanted the franchise to become Star Wars on some level. While Star Trek has a devoted, loyal audience that is massive and reliable, it has never and probably will never be as big as Star Wars. The Kelvin timeline was structured around the idea that maybe, just maybe, it could be. In the end, that might have doomed it. Leaning into what Star Trek is rather than what it could be is what can save the next movies from a similarly disappointing fate. You can grab the Trek trilogy, blah, 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 blah. Oh, there we go. So that was the 5. It ain't Star Wars. They left it too long. Creative direction pulling in too many different directions. TV working, movies not. And they were too expensive. What we really need is Gate. Yes, we need Stargate. Come on, Amazon, bloody hell. The Ray series was trash. Rogue One, only one that was good. Yes, Rogue One is really, really good. For a while, Rogue One was my favourite Star Wars film. It's not anymore, but for a while it was. It's still up there for me. Still up there. If people like the others, that's cool, but to me, it was just bad. I did like Force Awakens. Not as much now as I used to, but I still do enjoy it. But it is now I know what I know about J.J. Abrams and why things were in the film the way they were. It were all merchandising. But George Lucas was just like that, wasn't it? He put things in the film so he could create merchandising. But anyway, whatever. Mando Baby Yoda was good, and Booker, but are you just being naughty now? Book of Boba Fett, bloody awful. Mandalorian, I don't mind, apart from season 3, which wasn't great, but I still watched it. It were okay. Season 1 and 2, Mandalorian, I did enjoy them. Book of Boba Fett was just awful, and Obi-Wan, that were awful as well. Yes, Caravan of Courage is the best Star Wars film. Closely followed by The Battle for Endor. Those Ewoks. Anywho, so there we go. That's 5 reasons why Star Trek's Kelvin timeline failed, according to Ryan Scott. Wingray says, Obi-Wan and Boba put me off, and I haven't watched Star Wars since. Crikey. Harsh words there from Wingray. Anyway, that's it. That's the news. That's all I've got for today. And I'm not talking about Patrick Stewart saying he's retiring, because I don't give a monkeys. Oop, I'm burping. Right, so that's it. We're done and dusted. But yes, Amazon, Stargate, get on with it. For God's sake. Just do something. An animated series, anything, but not Infinity. Anyway, right, so he'll probably retire next door to you. Probably. We were born not far from where I live, in that direction. About 2 miles away. Yeah. Lost his accent though, didn't he? But never mind. Right, what's coming up next? What day are we on? Sunday? Oh, no, not doing tomorrow, am I? Because of life. Next Wednesday, I'll probably do Star Trek Voyager Season 2. My thoughts on every episode. I've nearly finished it. I don't know why I've been struggling with Season 2 of Voyager. I don't know. That is Sir Patrick, my TV dad. I like him as an actor, just don't like him. Generally, actors should stay away from social media because they just make themselves look like idiots, don't they? But anyway, Wednesday, what did I say? Wednesday, I'll be doing my Star Trek Voyager Season 2. My thoughts on that. And on Friday Night Appointment with Fear next week, we're doing Chernobyl Diaries. Ooh, bet you weren't expecting that, were you? So that's what's coming up. And then the Monday after, we'll be doing iRobot. So maybe we should do Running Man, but I'll do that the week after. Maybe. We fought a war for the right to not to have addressed people by those titles. Yes, you did. So don't call him Sir Patrick. Sir Pat Stew. Anyway. Right, we'll leave it there. We're all done and dusted. So thanks, Win Grace and Justin. Did anybody else pop in? I don't think they did they? No, I don't think they did. That's what I meant to do. It's too late now. Says he isn't that bad on social media compared to others. No, not really. But he has said some silly things from time to time. But they all do. Some more than others. He said something quite recently that annoyed me, and I can't remember what it was. So it can't have been that bad if I can't remember what it was. But anyway. Right, so we'll leave it there. I'll check on, just have a quick check on Rumble and make sure there's nothing in the live chat. No, there isn't. Right, so we'll leave it there. We will leave it there. So, hang on, let me get sorted. Oh, crikey. That one. Right, so we'll leave it there. So thanks for watching. Thanks, Win Grace and Justin, for keeping me company while I waffle on for 2 hours about the news. I will put timestamps in, maybe, if I can be bothered. Not that anybody watches them. Hang on, Justin's on about. We elect our kings and queens and sirs. Yes, you do elect them. Much like Naboo. Anyway, so thanks for watching. Hang on, was that another one I missed? Yes, take care, says Wingrace. Right, so thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other, and until next time, I'll say the...
That old Yorkshire geek with stories to unfold.